this hapless PR woman is trying to drag her off. And this is something that happens all the time. She was trying to steal the limelight from Tyler Perry, and it was just incredibly uncomfortable.
Well, that's why I said, Dan, that she's like glue on a red carpet.
Yeah.
She just absolutely refuses to budge. It's embarrassing.
I mean, look at that shot. Look at that shot. I mean, that's tacky.
The whole thing is tacky. Her attire is totally unsuitable. She needs to make up her mind. Is she an actress? Is she a hustler? Is she totty? Or is she going to be royal?
And breaking right now, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry have continued their separate lives, their professional separation on two sides of America. And Harry has refused to publicly deny troubles in the marriage. It's absolutely fascinating what has gone on. Let's take a look first at Meghan Markle arriving at this Tyler Perry event in Los Angeles, where she did not want to get off that red carpet. She was not moving, even when the PRs tried to drag her away. Well, for analysis on this now, let me bring in the great Lady Colin Campbell. Lady C, I want to come to Prince Harry in just a moment because there's so much to go into in terms of his very bizarre, very testy, very defensive performance on stage in New York. But first, can we talk about Meghan? Because yet again, she just didn't get this appearance right, did she?
Oh, Dan, we really should start to save Meghan from her self-society.
Yeah.
Aside from anything else. I mean, she's just like glue on a red carpet. She absolutely refuses to budge. But I thought she looked so dreadful, she looked so unglamorous. And I mean, no lady wears a tennis bracelet with an evening gown. I mean, she always manages to get it wrong. You just sort of, you despair for her. I mean, she's now been royal for 6 years and she can't get the basics right. And I thought she looked awful. I mean, I'd like her to look good, but she looked awful.
But Lady C, you actually see there, right? This hapless PR woman is trying to drag her off. And this is something that happens all the time. She was trying to steal the limelight from Tyler Perry, and it was just incredibly uncomfortable.
Well, that's why I said, Dan, that she's like glue on a red carpet.
Yeah.
She just absolutely refuses to budge. It's embarrassing.
I mean, look at that shot. Look at that shot. I mean, that's tacky.
The whole thing is tacky. Her attire is totally unsuitable. She needs to make up her mind. Is she an actress? Is she a hustler? Is she totty? Or is she going to be royal? And she's clearly decided that she can't cut the mustard with royal. And so she's going to cut the mustard with being, well, she wants to look like hot totty, but she actually ends up being like cool tatty. Sorry.
Did we hear anything about how she went down inside this event? Because it was quite embarrassing for her that on the invitation that was put out, her name was actually last on the list, which again is very embarrassing for a member of the royal family, given that they used her official titles.
Well, it also shows to what extent even Tyler Perry, for notwithstanding the fact that he's using her, which of course he always intended to. I mean, when he offered a total stranger to you know, to be of service to her any way that she wanted before the wedding. And of course, he obviously expected to be asked to the wedding, and he wasn't asked to the wedding. And I would imagine that the mere fact that she comes last, maybe they're trying to justify it in terms of in Hollywood. Sometimes if you come last, it's almost as good as coming first. But I suspect underneath it all, everybody knows that they are finished. They are finished as a prestigious couple, as a prestigious act. They are finito, and there's no two ways about it. They have lost all their desirability and their prestige.
And Lady C, just look at this list because I think it is worth talking about just how much their stock has fallen. Because considered Hollywood royalty there, top of the list, Ari Emanuel, Whoopi Goldberg. Then you've got some quite big names like Gayle King and Kerry Washington. But even Scott Mills, the British DJ, is above them on the list. And then at the very bottom, Prince Harry and Meghan the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. I mean, it is a mortifying fall from grace.
Oh, without a doubt, Dan. It's, if ever there was any doubt, that's it. And you know, when you stop to think, this follows in the last few weeks a series of blows where even the People magazine thing that, oh, Meghan leaked it so that everybody would think that she's going to have a fabulous 2025. You know, which was going to counterbalance all the negative stuff here, the Tom Sykes article, the German documentary. And if you actually examine closely what People magazine said, they basically repeat what Tom was saying in the Sunday Times, that Meghan and Meghan and Harry are, as a brand, in deep trouble. They no longer have the prestige that they once had. And in fact, they are busted flushes. So even People, which was supposed to be promoting her and being an antidote to Tom's condemnation of her, has turned out to actually condemn her as well. I mean, and she hasn't yet learned that the way to actually be prestigious is to behave as if you are royal. She has come into the royal family. She has brought her cheap and vulgar hustle with her. She has worked them from being one of the most prestigious and popular couples on earth to the most mocked couple on earth at the moment. And even people like Tyler Perry, who are supposed to be promoting her, or People magazine, on the one hand, they appear to be doing something positive, while on the other hand, they lay down banana skins that send their reputation flying. I mean, don't you see that even Tyler Perry's thing and the People magazine article actually are not real positives? I mean, you're a very experienced writer and journalist. And if you wanted to big up someone, would you big them up like that? Of course you wouldn't.
No, she's losing publications by the day. And as you say, even her allies are now struggling to defend her conduct. And of course, I believe much of the change in tone came from the Hollywood Reporter, because when the Hollywood Reporter turns on you, you lose Hollywood. Now, I want to talk about the other side of America, though, because we had a completely bizarre interview going on with Prince Harry on stage. I believe, Lady C, and I think it's best we set this up actually and contextualize it first. I believe he only agreed to go to this conference in New York because officially it's to promote Spare, but actually he hasn't agreed to do any other promotion for Spare at all on this particular tour. So I think it was very convenient for him to go to New York today or yesterday, sorry, because it meant he avoided having to be on the red carpet with his own wife at the Tyler Perry event. Remember, he's on the board for the Tyler Perry event. And also the briefing that his own team had given to People magazine said that the reason Harry and Meghan attend events separately is so that the children are not left alone in Montecito, which would have meant he should have stayed in California. So that's the first thing I would say. I don't know if you agree with that.
I do, but go on. I do agree, but go on, Dan.
Well,
Don't
then
let
I
me
was going to
interrupt
say,
you.
he gets up on stage, and it is a very, very odd interview with Andrew Sorkin, who is from the New York Times, very much politically aligned with Harry, certainly not trying to trip him up in any way, but Harry is defensive, trying to use his humor, which I don't find very funny anymore, to be completely honest, as some sort of way to humiliate the interviewer. But most significantly, he refuses to deny that there are troubles in his marriage when he is given the opportunity to do so on an international stage. So let's watch this, Lady C, and then I'll get you to react off the bat.
And I was looking even as we were in the race coming up to this day, I Googled news you, and there were people who are fascinated by everything you're doing all the time. They're fascinated by Meghan is in California right now, and you're here, and there's articles left and right about, why are you doing independent events? Why aren't you doing them together?
Because you invited me, you should have known.
This is true.
You should have known that was going to happen.
But do you know, is that normal for you? That the second there's an article that says she's in California, you're in New York, they say, well, what is happening with these two, right? So is that a good thing for you in a way that there's so much interest in you?
No, there's definitely not a good thing. Because apparently we've bought or moved house maybe 10, 12 times. We've apparently divorced maybe 10, 12 times as well. So everyone's just like, what? So yeah, it's hard to keep up with, but that's why you just sort of ignore it. The people I feel most sorry about are the trolls who their hopes are just built and built and built, and it's like yes, and then it doesn't happen. Right. So I feel sorry for them. Genuinely, I do. I mean that. But yes, I have no doubt that everything that we've spoken about today, in the last, the clock's on zero, 25 minutes. Will be spun or twisted somehow against me, and maybe you yourself,
it's possible,
will be trolled relentlessly, and for that I can only apologise. But you did invite me, so it's not.
Well, I know we're almost out of time, but
no one's trolling you, Harry. I played your full answer, no editing whatsoever. Did you notice, Lady C, not one comment about it's complete rubbish? Things are really strong. We're really happy.
Well, he is a past master of deflection. He's also so condescending and really always very rude to the interviewer. And maybe the public doesn't pick it up, but you pick it up and I pick it up. And let's remember that Harry is basically saying that today the trolls say one thing, tomorrow another, and there are many different stories. Most of those stories emanate from Harry and Meghan's quarter. They're the ones who one day are saying X and the other day they're saying Y. They are the ones who are keeping themselves in the news, effectively trolling themselves by telling lie after lie after lie about their activities or their intentions or the reactions to them. And it's really interesting how both Harry and Meghan play persecutor as victim, and they turn things around in the most straightforward way, where they plant stories that contradict each other on a daily basis. And then the fact that those stories have been printed usually by tame publications who are in their pocket, whether it be People or Page 6 or Vanity Fair, marry Claire, etc., etc. And then they spin around and say, oh, we're being victimized. But they're the ones who and their PR who are actually planting these stories.
Indeed. I
So,
mean, Harry even admitted the other day, or sorry, People magazine even admitted the other day that they had received an email directly from Prince Harry. So this idea that he's not involved in playing the media game is lunacy. As you point out, Lady C, it's also his own team who have put forth this ridiculous line about a professional separation, a twin track approach.
yes. And also, his people have put out that they are possibly getting separated and possibly not. Remember, many of these things, you will know, Dan, come from one branch of the Harry and Meghan camp or the other. That's why I always say I don't believe a thing that I am told about them except from certain people. And also, I know as a fact that Harry has not Meghan, Harry has lied to two duchesses that I know, providing false information. So you also, Harry himself got one of his greatest friends to get in touch with me when I was writing the original version of Meghan and Harry, the real story, to traduce his father-in-law and explain why poor Thomas Markle had to be excluded and Meghan could never get back in touch with her father. And I knew it was a lie. I printed that I didn't believe it. And sure enough, it's turned out the whole thing was a lie. So you have Harry and Meghan, on the one hand, creating the narrative that conflicts with a previous narrative, then complaining about the fact that the narrative doesn't accord with any consistency and that they are being victimized. It's actually, the game is so sick that if they're not drug-addled, they better go and become drug-addled, because the whole thing is insensible, save for the fact that it confuses the public. And Harry, remember, is Diana's son, and Diana used to always say, confuse the enemy. That was her tactic and her technique. And Harry is doing it. He is briefing from his mother's playbook. And Meghan also does it. Now, Meghan didn't learn that on her own. She learned that from Harry. So let's give credit where it's due. And Harry condescendingly acts as if they are being victimized. They need to be in the news on a daily basis, they think, because if they're not in the news on a daily basis, they have no pulling power, because you will know, Dan, better than most, that they are already pretty much poison, box office poison in Hollywood. And nobody in Hollywood wants to touch them. I mean, one of the really important things that emerged from Tom Sykes's article in the Sunday Times was the confirmation that leading figures in Hollywood refused to take Meghan's calls. Now, I've been saying this for some time, and I'm sure you have as well. But when Tom Sykes says it in the Sunday Times, you know that it's developed a level of noise that is deafening. And so Harry and Meghan have to play the victim, because that's all they have to offer. They don't have talent to offer. They don't have anything of interest to offer. That's my take on it.
No, I think you're completely right. Lady C, I want to show you another astonishing moment with Prince Harry on stage, where again, he thinks for some reason he's being targeted and gives a very confusing answer when he's asked about his security situation, where he actually even invokes, I think quite disgustingly, Princess Diana. And it's incredibly, incredibly odd. So let's have a look. Let's have a look at this. Your mind will be blown. But first, you know how I often talk about the need for free speech to be protected. But I've been increasingly thinking of the need for personal protection online from snoopers, bad actors, and hackers. I'm delighted to tell you I've now found the fail-safe solution. But what's more, this VPN, or virtual private network to use the full term, is also a life changer when it comes to providing you entertainment and information from anywhere in the world, wherever you are. Let me introduce you to Surfshark, an incredible and easy-to-use service that encrypts all your internet traffic, meaning your online activities stay safe so you can shop, stream, browse, and conduct your banking online in complete privacy. But the benefits of Surfshark go way beyond keeping you safe online. So this is what's amazing about a VPN. It allows you access to your favorite entertainment and news shows and channels from anywhere in the world, wherever you are, including, by the way, to all the big streaming services like Hulu and iPlayer and HBO Max and Peacock and Netflix and Amazon Prime and Disney Plus, which may not be available in your particular area, but within seconds, you can be watching as if you're in another country. It's truly amazing for sport as well, because if you're traveling for work or on holiday, you can watch all of your favorite content from home without worrying about the geo blocks. This is also an insurance policy against creeping censorship in many countries like France, where Rumble has been banned for many months now. So this is all about watching anything, anytime, anywhere. It is true freedom. A VPN can save money too, because think, when you are shopping online, you can get the best deals from anywhere in the world, because some websites change their prices depending on where you are surfing from. There are other benefits of Surfshark too. It works for your whole family because you can have unlimited devices. So an entire household can stay safe with just one subscription. And there are over 3,200 servers in over 100 countries, meaning there's a world of choice at your fingertips. The other great thing, and I know many of you, this is the first time that you may have thought about using a VPN, and you really must get one, but it has 24/7 customer service. So you can go to surfshark.com/outspoken for an extra 4 months of Surfshark at an unbeatable price. What's more, Surfshark are so confident they're the best VPN in the world that you can give it a try for a full 30 days. And if you're not entirely satisfied, you will get your money back. So go to surfshark.com/outspoken for an extra 4 months of Surfshark at an unbeatable price, or you can just click in the link in the description box below. But now, back to the show.
You've talked a lot about going to therapy. You have a case in the UK so that you can go back there and hopefully have better security when you're there, and wanted to understand sort of where that whole thing stands, and also just whether you plan to remain here with us in the US.
I do. I very much enjoy living here and bringing my kids up here. It's a part of my life that I never thought I was going to live, and I feel as though it's the life that my mum wanted for me. And to be able to do the things that I am able to do with my kids that I undoubtedly wouldn't be able to do in the UK is huge, and that's a fantastic opportunity. I'm hugely grateful for that. You bring up another case, one that I can't talk about, and you should know that. But what I would say in that is, she's talking about security. I never should have had security removed in the first place. It's amazing when you go through this litigation, of which I have become a professional at, of which I aim to retire fairly soon. In that regard, I certainly don't want to be starting. I'm not starting them, right? I'm just trying to, again, find truth and accountability and ultimately reconciliation. But I never should have had it removed. But the disclosure, I think you guys call it discovery process, has been troubling and enlightening. And I just have to now sit and wait until April.
I mean, Lady C, so many contradictions there. What do you make of it?
Well, I don't know who Harry thinks he's fooling. Maybe he thinks he's fooling the public. But my experience of Joe and Jane public is that they're a lot more intelligent than they're given credit for being by the cognoscenti and the woke brigade and all of those supposedly enlightened people who are anything but. Because any fool knows that any royal in a royal scenario is ring-fenced by royal security. So if Harry and Meghan are here and they are within the royal environment, which he is allowed to give 28 days notice and on a case-by-case basis. And if he stays at Buckingham Palace, or if he stays within a royal environment, they are all automatically protected by the royal system. So for Harry to expect the average person, Mr. and Mrs. Public, to swallow the lie that they are more endangered here as royals in the royal environment than they would be in Texas, Jamaica, Colombia, Montecito, it's all absolute stupidity. It makes no sense. But of course, Harry is trying in every way possible to get back his IPP status because then at the moment, he has to pay for his security out of his own pocket. Once, if that's restored, the American government, the American state, the American people have to pay for it when he's in America. When he's in Nigeria, the Nigerians. If he's in Jamaica, the Jamaicans. If he's in the United Kingdom, the British. So, I mean, that's what that's all about. It basically is dollars and cents, or pounds, shillings and pence. That's what it's all about. And anything else is rubbish. And his entitlement that it should never have been removed. Princess Anne and Prince Edward do not have the degree of security that Harry used to have and is seeking for himself. And they are the children of a monarch. And they were the children of a monarch long before he was. And they always did more work than he did. So he has no grounds for complaint, but he is pig-headed. But then that's not surprising. He seems to be a pig, and he seems to be married to a pig.
Here are some more lowlights from the interview.
Good afternoon.
What I really, really don't like, and what I find hard to make peace with, is that there are some people on one end of the spectrum who are sitting behind their keyboards writing dangerous or defamatory headlines, knowing that it's going to work as clickbait because any context in the rest of the article protects them and there's nothing you can do about it. And at the other end of the spectrum, you have Nobel Prize winners like Maria Ressa, who's literally putting her life on the line, and war correspondents who, again, are putting their lives on the line to bring us the truth. So that, to me, is the spectrum. And my life has been covered by this end of the spectrum, which I will be damned if those journalists are going to ruin journalism for everybody else because we depend on it so much.
You did say in your book, you said, I began to think at some point that Murdoch was evil. You've had very strong words about Rupert Murdoch and what you think he did in this phone hacking scandal. What is the goal of this lawsuit, which has been ongoing now for a very, very long time?
The goal is accountability. It's really that simple. 1,300
people, from what I've read, have settled with the Murdoch folks. And of the 40 claims that originally joined with you in this action, it's down to now 2. And so you think that everybody's just settled because it just doesn't make any economic sense to continue?
No, I know why people have settled. They've settled because they've had to settle. So therefore, one of the main reasons for seeing this through is accountability, because I'm the last person that can actually achieve that, and also closure for these 1,300 people and families.
Now, there's much more where that came from. Head to www.outspoken.live, which is my Substack, and I'm going to go into a deep dive into Harry's bombshell claims with Lady Colin Campbell, Because let me tell you, there were yet again multiple lies. So, much more from Lady Colin Campbell coming up. You know Substack is a safe space not patrolled by big tech where censorship runs deep. And right now, only for a few more hours, our biggest ever sale, 30% off for Black Friday and Cyber Monday at www.outspoken.live. Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews, and special royal episodes. Outspoken is also now available as a podcast, so you can listen to the show every weekday on the go, wherever you are.